Okay, Barbara, let's dig a little bit deeper into college planning, specifically financing. Now, what about these discounts that colleges are offering on tuition? What are these discounts?
Well, discount is a relatively new term. The media has used it, parents have used it. It means a different thing for a variety of different people. But in general, discount is scholarship support. Any dollar that is offsetting the direct cost of going to school is a discount.
So student financial support can be used to offset the expense of college or even to supplement your college savings account. And this financial aid can come in the form of scholarships, grants, work-study programs, or loans. Now first, let's touch on scholarships. Barbara, what does a student need to do to qualify for a scholarship?
Well, to qualify, first they need to apply.
That's true.
That means going back to what a student can do, keeping in touch with their guidance counselor, finding out what the application process is with the university, finding out what the application process is to get a PTA scholarship with their home school.
Now, when we're talking about a full scholarship, that usually doesn't mean a scholarship from one single source. It usually means a scholarship from multiple sources are being taken into account. And so that means that a student really needs to do their homework to find out exactly where all these sources are. Now, we all know that high test scores are important, but what about like athletes or students even that have like a special talent or skill or philanthropical work or something? Can you talk about those?
Sure. I would say that, again, schools do recruit high-ability students like athletes. What some family and students forget about are the bands, the pep bands, the different groups that are also performing. For example, there's art scholarships, drama scholarships, and there's music scholarships, both instrumental and voice. And we talked earlier about volunteer work. Now, it's not unusual for a scholarship to be focused on what a student does in terms of volunteering their time to the community.
Well, that's good. So it's important to investigate every opportunity that your child might have because you never know what might lead to a scholarship or a grant.
Right.
Now, we do know that last year that student aid made up of loans and grants topped $100 billion. And to further break that down, that was $68 billion awarded in loans and $33 billion allotted in grants. Now, over the past several years, federal student aid has shifted from a grant-based system to a loan-based system, producing a sea of change in the way that many students and families finance college education. That being said, Barbara, what can a student do to get a grant?
Good question. Applying for a grant is a laborious process. It's a very intimidating process as well. There's an application that's put out by the Department of Education that's the principal application form that families will use to determine whether they're eligible for financial aid. Most families try to look for ways to screen themselves out of completing this application. It will ask them questions that they may not be comfortable with, like their adjusted gross income, the amount of taxes paid, the amount of money that they've saved. Make no mistake, this is the kind of application that takes a family and turns it upside down, shakes out all of the income information to determine eligibility. But it's a free application form, and it's called the FAFSA. And it's important for families to complete this application. Let the Department of Education screen them out, and let the Department of Education tell them no versus figuring that information out for themselves.
Well, it sounds like even though it's intimidating and it might be a lot of hard work and very boring, it's a very important process and step to take because, you know, it may qualify for a grant or a loan down the line.
Absolutely.
And every little bit helps.
That's right.
So let's briefly recap just what we've talked about. Now, you've made some excellent points, Barbara, but first, scholarships, scholarships, scholarships.
Yes.
There are so many out there, and the most important step is to apply. Whether you're a vocal musician or an athlete, you need to look into as many scholarship opportunities as possible. High test scores help you look attractive to universities, and Federal Application for Student Financial Aid, or FAFSA, is a must for parents to fill out, no matter how intimidating. Every little bit helps.